Skumma Geistgösen. What? No, Isyawa, your favorite fellow Mellow, the Raging Sun, the Blazing Sun, right back with another one. We are live right back with another one. Why am I getting a notification? What the fuck? It's telling me I'm live. Yeah, no shit, I'm live, man. Don't tell me shit, man. I know, man. My phone is telling me I'm live, yeah. Yeah, no shit, bro. No shit, bro. I wouldn't figure it out myself, man. I wouldn't figure it out my fucking self, man. Was good, my guys goes and what? Not Isyawa, Blazing Man of the Raging Sun, the Blazing Sun, right back with another one. And today we do some classic freestyle OG type of live stream, man. I used to start my live streams like this, man. No topic, just a freestyle. Even though I got some talking points in my mind which I want to goddamn talk about. So let's just dive right into it. Let's waste no time, even though we have plenty of time today. It's a goddamn Saturday. I'm free of my responsibilities, so I can take my sweet time. I can take my sweet fucking time. And one thing I don't like is that for some strange reason, when I make live streams, my light starts to flicker. It's like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark for no reason, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why my light is flickering sometimes. It's like dark, bright for no reason. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. It must be a YouTube thing because it is not my phone. That shit is definitely not my phone, man. That shit is definitely not my phone, man. You feel me? But that's that, man. Enough about technometeorology and whatnot. Let's just keep on talking about the real shit. One thing I like to address first is I noticed, like especially yesterday, the moment you don't want shit, you get shit. And I was thinking, why is that even the case? Why is this mechanism even a thing in reality? And there's a pretty simple reason for this mechanism, why you get shit when you don't want shit no more. The simple reason is because now you can handle it. You only get what you can handle type shit, you know what I'm saying? You cannot necessarily, you can get something you can't handle, but you can't maintain that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you always get something when you don't want it because now you can handle it. Life. I know it's like very mystical to call life because this evokes the sense of that life is some sort of godly entity, but for the lack of better words, life gives you everything you need when you don't want that shit. Not even everything you need, but life gives you a lot of shit when you don't want shit. Because life wants you to be responsible, as in life likes you to be in a certain way in which you can handle things. And when you can handle things, you get things. You cannot get something when you cannot handle that shit. And even if you get something which you cannot handle, you cannot maintain that shit. That shit will just crumble right in front of your eyes type shit. So, this is something everybody has to keep in mind and everybody has to strive for. When you want something, don't just focus on the wants. Focus on being a person who can maintain that want. For instance, when you want to be in a relationship, okay, this is like your want. This is the destination, your desire, and your motivation. But what's most important is, can you maintain a relationship? Can you handle a goddamn relationship? And this is what everybody neglects. Not everybody, but a ton of people, including myself sometimes, neglect. You cannot necessarily handle what you want. And this is also the reason you don't even get what you want. We all want something, right? Everybody has desires, no question. But we don't get our desires every time, you know? It's like, for a reason. And the reason is actually a quite good one, even though it appears to be frustrating when you don't get what you want. It's very, like, unsatisfying to not have the thing you want to have in your space, or in your life, rather. But that shit is actually something good. This is not something to be labeled as bad, even though it feels bad. As I'm always saying, feelings are not a proper tool to cast judgment based on. Feelings are very faulty. Just because something feels bad, it doesn't mean that this thing is actually bad. And the same thing applies to this scenario right here. Just because it feels bad, because you don't have what you want, that doesn't mean your life situation is ultimately fucked up. In many cases, you get saved, for the lack of less religious and goddamn spooky words. You get saved by not having what you want, because if you would have what you want, you would crumble. You would just straight up crumble. You know what I'm saying? Under the weight of that desire you want so deeply. Because life is like a motherfucker. Life is like a goddamn asshole. To keep it goddamn bluntly and to talk in a very direct and controversial type of way. Life is a goddamn motherfucker. Meaning, Things don't come easy, and things are not maintained so easily. Implying, if you're a weak person, for the lack of less extreme words once again, neglect the word. Just look at what's being said, okay? Just look at what's being said, okay? I know the sentiment might be goddamn aggressive and goddamn mean, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm trying my best to not sound like goddamn so mean as person. I'm trying my best, and I'm trying my fucking best. But you know the drill. Life is very hard. And this is common sense that life is hard because reality has to be hard. Reality is like Saturn from an astrological type of perspective. Reality is supposed to be hard because without a sense of hardness, reality can't even come to be. What we label as reality is simply accumulation, and accumulation by nature is something which is hard. When you accumulate a lot of shit together, it becomes hard, it becomes heavy, you know what I'm saying? For instance, look at this water bottle. This water bottle is kinda hard. It is heavy because it's filled to a certain degree. Because a lot of water had to accumulate for that water bottle to be full. And logically speaking, when something is full, when something has a lot of accumulation, it becomes hard. It becomes goddamn solid and visible. Visible objects are only visible because they are heavy in mass. So reality is an accumulation, and an accumulation by default is very hard. Literally speaking, and even metaphorically speaking, reality is hard. Because accumulation has to happen. And for accumulation to even happen, you have to be in a certain space for a certain period of time. This is where discipline comes into place. Without discipline, reality can't even be. Reality can't even happen. Because in order for something to accumulate, that means you have to be in a certain space for a certain period of time. And life's nature is not designed to be in a certain space for a lot of time. Life's nature is always fleeting, everything is changing. And by default, when you want to accumulate something, you go against life, as ridiculous as it sounds. But this is where we dive into why Saturn is labeled as the opposer and why Saturn is labeled as the goddamn devil. When you want to accumulate something, or in other words, when you want to create a reality, a physical reality, you have to accumulate, right? But to accumulate, you have to be in a certain space for a long time period. And this is not how life is designed, you staying in one space for a long time. Life is designed for you to move. Life is movement. It's like your heartbeat, the cancer space. Life is movement. Life is not designed for you to stay in one space. Because life is constantly changing. But if you want to accumulate something, you have to be in one space for a long time. Now we dive into Saturn knowledge. Now we dive into why Saturn is labeled as the opposer. Why Saturn is labeled as evil and the devil. Because you're not designed to be in one space for a long time. But if you are in one space for a long time, you manifest accumulations. Even subconsciously, I just made a goddamn square without meaning to, because this is where the square even comes to be. A square is just one space which is stuck. One space which is goddamn confined in a certain parameter. So, for you to even accumulate things, you have to be disciplined. For you to even accumulate stuff, you have to be hard. And this is what life wants you to be. Like this reality, not life, but this is what this reality is goddamn based off. You needing to be in one space for a long time to even accumulate, to even materialize, and to even organize your life. Because if you change 24/7, life becomes very fluky. It's like changing your direction 24/7, which is kinda counterproductive if you want to be a productive individual. We're talking about Saturn knowledge right here. So this is why life feels so hard essentially. You have to stay in one space for a long time. This is why we even have a physical body. Because you are standing in one space for a long time. You are a human. You are like a human for like what? Approximately 80 years? Ideally, you have to be in one space for a long time to even develop a physical body. To even develop physical results type shit. So don't get it fucked up. This is how reality comes to be. You having to be in one space for a long time. And to remind you, reality is not life. Reality is just being in a physical body. Reality is not life. Reality appears to be life, but this is the failure of a human being's mind. Labeling reality as life. There is a distinction between life and reality. Life is more like the existential spiritual mechanism of everything. But reality is like this human world, this human goddamn space we are in. We are in, you know what I mean, for the lack of better words. Reality is like this right here, this third dimension. People like to call it the third dimension. So don't get it twisted. There's actually a correlation or like a difference, a distinction between life and reality, you know what I'm saying? Keep that shit in mind. What even is life? Life is something which can be hardly defined. It is an abstraction because life is not made or not limited to this reality. Life is something people label as spirituality, who you truly are, what's inside of you, how your space is moving. This is life. What you got on the inside. You got them spirit, you got them space. But what's reality? Reality is this world, this physical goddamn thingy. You know what I'm saying? So there is a distinction between reality and life. As ridiculous as it sounds, but don't get lost in the words. Reality is something else than life. Get that shit in your head, man. So, to handle reality, you have to go against life. Because life, let's just make it simple. I know y'all like astrology. Let's just make it astrological. Life is like the moon, and reality is Saturn. They both oppose each other. Life and reality are not the same. You know what I'm saying? So, to handle reality, you have to go against life. And to handle life, you have to go against reality. It's simple. Let's just make it even more simpler. For those who don't like, or for those who are not into astrology, to handle reality, just rewind my last 10 minutes. Just rewind what I was saying when I talk about Saturn. But to handle reality, you have to be disciplined. You have to stay in one space for a long time. You have to be hard. You have to be like goddamn tenacious, mature, you name it. All kinds of Saturn qualities. Because reality is made by you staying in one specific space. You know what I'm saying? And this is going against life because life is changing. Life is like a spiritual nature. Life is always changing. Life is always moving. Life is a wave. Keyword like Cancer. Life is a wave. Hence, I bring up astrology because astrology is very easy to understand things through. You know what I'm saying? Things are much more easily understood through astrology. But anyways, keep that shit in mind, man. Keep that fucking shit in mind. And to handle life, you have to go against reality. You have to go, oh, peace out, shout, open third eye beats. There is no link, bro. There is no link. This is no open panel. But I might create the open panel later on. So if y'all like to join, just wait until later. I will create an open panel. Maybe later, maybe later. But this right now is no open panel. Is it an open panel? Did I accidentally make this an open panel? Because I didn't mean to. But anyways. Shout you out for being here. Shout you out, twin. Shout you out, bro. Shout out to Open Third Eye Beats. But anyways, this is how you handle life. You have to go against reality because life and reality are two different things, right? So, life has nothing to do with reality, but people label life as reality, or they think reality is life. They think this third dimension, this goddamn physical existence is what life ultimately is. But it's not ultimately life. It's just one limited aspect of life, you know what I'm saying? But to handle life, you have to defy reality. You have to go against reality. Because everything which happens in reality has nothing to do with life. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with life. What you feel on the inside has nothing to do with reality. For instance, what you feel has nothing to do with what another person is doing in reality. It's very easy. So to handle your life, to handle your goddamn insecurities, I can't stop eating Takis. I can't stop watching porn. I can't stop jerking off. I can't stop watching Kai Cenat 24/7 while I'm obese as hell. I can't stop losing my hairline. I can't stop losing my bitches. I can't stop losing my money. To change your internal issues, to change what's on the inside, to change your problems, you have to go against reality. You have to disregard everything outside of you and you have to jump on the inside, which by default defies reality and is catered to focusing on life because you are life. You are life. Life is you. Don't get it twisted. Life is you. And reality is something different. Life and reality are different. Reality is everything outside of you. And life is you. To make it even more simpler. So get that shit in your head, man. Get that shit in your motherfucking head, man. It is not easy to understand whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take a breather, man. I just goddamn freestyled 14 minutes without taking one single breather, so let me chill for 20 seconds. Hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell, man. This world is hell. This world is motherfucking... Yeah, man, watching Kai Cenat, man. You know the drill, man. You know the motherfucking drill, man. As funny as it sounds, ridiculous shit is reality for a lot of people. Because I'm saying this 24/7 to my homies. God is just making anybody these days. Anybody these days. Like, God is just creating anybody these days, even though God is creating nobody. I'm just making fun of shit. But it feels like everybody's walking the earth nowadays. You can think of some ridiculous ass bullshit, and you can guarantee somebody in reality is doing this ridiculous ass bullshit. I mean, everything is like possible. And everything you can imagine, you can bet your goddamn last dollar that some human has done that shit. Like, somewhere right now, as we speak, there is some human existing who watches goddamn Twitch for like 24 hours plus instead of goddamn taking a shower. Like, this shit actually exists somewhere in the world. It's not made up. I'm saying this to say that, man. Whatever you think of, that shit is reality. Maybe not your reality, but a reality for somebody else. Whatever you think of is happening somewhere in this world. So this is like crazy. Everything is possible for the good and for the bad. Keep that shit in mind, man. Goddamn, why do I have to burp so much? I ate too much. I ate too much before I made the live stream, man. Ooh. Goddamn. But speaking of possibilities, I wanted to talk about something else right here. This is like a perfect segue. Life is not built of conclusions. Whatever you conclude is not necessarily reality, or it's not necessarily what's really going to happen. We all have conclusions. Don't get it twisted. I have conclusions, you have conclusions, your mom has conclusions, Kai Cenat has conclusions, everybody has conclusions. Even Jesus Christ in the Bible has conclusions. Everybody has conclusions. Everybody has conclusions. But conclusions are what's limiting your sight. Because if you have a conclusion, you just wait. And you just want to have one thing to be real. In simpler words, when you have a conclusion, you just wait to prove yourself right. You just wait to see where this conclusion is actually true. Some people like to call it confirmation bias, which is a true thing. I don't like that word, but this is like a true thing, because a lot of white people use this word like crazy. Confirmation bias. We always seek evidence, but we always seek evidence. It is true. As much as I hate it, we always seek evidence. And the evidence we like to seek is based on our conclusions. And this is where the demise of damn near everybody comes into place. You have certain conclusions. Hence, you want to see those conclusions in reality, even though these conclusions might not be in reality. As I was saying, people online who virtue signal call it confirmation bias. But that shit is a real ass thing in reality. A real ass thing in reality. Poor choice of words, but y'all know the fucking drill like a UK person would, man. Confirmation bias is absolutely real. Whatever you have, as far as a conclusion, instead of your space, you want to see that shit in reality. If you believe, or if you come to the conclusion that you yourself could get no bitches, your whole being wants to make sure that you will have no bitches. It's as simple as that, man. Even though my examples are kind of ridiculous and goofy, but you know the drill. You know the fucking drill, man. You know the fucking drill, man. Whatever you have on the inside, your spirit cannot wait to make that shit a reality. So, this is something which is very severe. It's not there to be taken lightly. Because everybody listens to spirituality 24/7, right? And they say, which is true, they say your spirit is infinite, right? Meaning, inside of you is an infinite intelligence, a literal infinite intelligence which waits for you to make something happen. And the things you make happen are just wired on some bullshit. You want to make bullshit happen. You want to make insecurities happen. You want to make binge eating habits happen. You want to make sure that you will lose your hell at 21 happen. Because now, you program your whole infinite spirit to make that shit a reality. And we all have infinite energy. And not even energy, we all have an infinite space within us. Meaning, we can make everything happen. But what you choose to make happen is some bullshit. And that shit is not here to be treated lightly. This is no joke, man. Your spirit is fucking powerful. It is extremely powerful, you know what I'm saying? You said water looks refreshing as fuck, man. Yeah, that shit's some mountain water, man. Some goddamn mountain water, you know what I'm saying? Some expensive ass mountain water. Whatever you think of is happening somewhere in this world. It is true. It is fucking true, man. It's your boy. Follow your north node. It's your boy. Yes, sir. It's your boy, man. Shout you out, man. He's your fucking boy, man. But anyways, as I was saying. You have a goddamn infinite ass spirit inside of you. And your spirit is like extremely powerful. But what you utilize your power for is some goddamn bullshit. Basically, you utilize your power for something which makes you powerless. And how much sense does that make? It makes zero sense. As much as people are driven by their emotions, sometimes we have to see what's making sense. We cannot always be like, but I feel like this, but I feel like this. But guess what? How you feel is not necessarily what makes sense. I know we are all emotionally driven and emotions are more powerful than logic, and logic is an extremely weak ass tool. I know logic is an extremely weak ass tool. But one thing cannot be neglected. Some shit does not make any sense to be into. Like utilizing an infinite spirit for some bullshit doesn't make any sense. Absolutely any sense. And you know, they like to say knowledge is power, wisdom is power, etc., etc. And it's true. And the part of wisdom is not only emotional intelligence, but also rational intelligence, logical intelligence. Your rational intelligence, or like your IQ, your logic, is your direction. Without direction, your strong as emotions will be meaningless. But on the flip side, without strong as emotions, your direction will be meaningless. So you have to balance things. You cannot be too emotionally. But I feel like this. But I feel like that, man. But I feel like watching Twitch today 24 hours. But I feel like donating my whole paycheck to Kai Cenat today. You cannot be too emotional. But you cannot also be too rational. I think, therefore I am. Yeah, I just have to neglect my feelings. I can just distance myself from my feelings and I guess that's that, man. No. One thing logical people like to do, or like overly logical people like to do, is to ghost their feelings. This shit was like apparent to me during Aquarius season. Because Aquarius is like ghosting, creating separation, creating distance, being aloof to a certain degree on the negative side. And this shit even happens if you neglect your emotions. When you neglect your emotions and you just sweep them under the rug, you brush them to the side, you tend to be aloof. You tend to be very avoidant towards your emotions. And this is where a lot of dryness comes to be. This is where the incapability to change your life comes to be. If you neglect your emotions, if you just brush them to the side on some procrastination, not even procrastination, but on some avoidance type shit. Keyword avoidance. A void. You're making a void. You're making a void. This is what avoidance truly is. You're making a void out of things. You're ignoring things. You're making space between things which shouldn't be kept at a distance. Such as your feelings. Your feelings shouldn't be kept at a distance. You should be very close to your feelings. And ghosting your feelings, separating from your feelings, is a symptom of being too logical. And when you are too logical, you tend to be overwhelmed by feelings, because at some point of time your feelings will return. At some point in time your feelings will return. And when they return, you have no intelligence to handle your feelings. Because all you was investing yourself into was being too logical. You get what I'm saying? So keep that shit in mind, man. This is like very dangerous. It is extremely dangerous when you just neglect your emotions 24/7. This was like very apparent to me during Aquarius season, because I have Aquarius in my 8th house. And I used to do that shit. I used to be very distant towards my true emotions, towards my truest nature. Your 8th house is like your truest nature. It's like your truest core. And when you create too much distance between you and your truest nature, you tend to avoid yourself. You tend to be even lying. You tend to even be a phony ass motherfucker. So don't do that shit, man. Your truest nature, your truest core shouldn't be avoided by just creating too many layers of logic. That shit is motherfucking dangerous. It is motherfucking dangerous. Being too avoidant towards your feelings builds a lack of social skills. Social skills are built based on your emotional intelligence. When you have emotional intelligence, you tend to be relatable, because you know how others might feel, how you are seen, and how to adjust based on a certain scenario. You know what I'm saying? So really, social skills are not acquired through better communication. They're really acquired through having better emotional intelligence, through having a better understanding of your emotions. One thing about society, or like being in society, is you have to be efficient enough to handle yourself before you relate to somebody else. When I try to relate to you, and I can't even relate to myself, guess what? I won't be relatable to you whatsoever. You won't feel me whatsoever because I wasn't taking care of my own inner natures first. When you don't take care of your own inner natures first, you cannot necessarily see somebody else's perspective. And this is what life is truly all about. Keyword life, not reality. This is what life is all about. Life is all about handling yourself. When you can handle yourself, everything outside of you will be a joke because there's nothing but you anyways. There is nothing but you essentially. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that, man. So much about social skills. Social skills are very overly glorified. Not as in they're overrated, but they're more than what they truly are, you know what I'm saying? It's not hard to have social skills, you just have to take care of your emotions. God damn it, I'm getting cold. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. We are right back, ladies and gentlemen. My bad, I got cold. Your boy cannot be at peace, man. I have too much people to root on me. I have too much people to depend on me. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding. Ever since I'm like 12 or like 13 or 14, I'm responsible for people because I am responsible for myself. You cannot be responsible for somebody else if you cannot be responsible for your own self. Keep that shit in mind. This goes out to everybody who considers to have like goddamn children. You cannot have children if you yourself are a child, internally speaking. We all grow up physically, we all age, but age does not lead to maturity. Some people are like goddamn 20,000 years old, physically speaking. They have like 10,000 wrinkles in their face. Their face is like hanging to their goddamn nutsack. Their face is all the way hanging down to their nutsack. But they're still not mature yet. Because maturity and age are not intertwined. You can be old as hell and you still can be childish. But on the flip side, you can be young as hell and you can still be mature. Wink, wink, look at me. Ah. Wink, wink, look at me. Ah. As a matter of fact, age is of no significance. What is of every significance is your internal age. I know this sounds like a made up word because I just made that word up. I'm lying in front of your faces. But internal age simply means wisdom. How much wisdom you have. Because wisdom comes with time, which might contradict with what I was just saying. But time physically has nothing to do with wisdom internally. Somebody could be 90 years old, but in his 90 years or in her 90 years of existing, that person might not be learning a single thing. All they were doing was just sticking their finger in their ass and jerking off and watching the news all day and watching Kai Cenat all day. I'm saying, so physical age is of no correlation between maturity and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? This is like the story, not of my life, but I've seen a lot of people in this energy. Oh, I'm 50 years old, you listen to me, kid. You listen to me. I've been here since Hitler was born. I've been here since the goddamn Stone Age. Look at my face. My face is so wrinkly, my goddamn nuts are touching my face because my face is hanging down so deeply. Look how old I am. I'm so mature. Nowadays people use their age as a sense of entitlement. Really, entitlement is everywhere. And humans have a talent to be entitled based on just anything. Yeah, check this out. I have a water bottle. I'm entitled to rule this country. People make excuses to be in a seat of authority over just goddamn anything. And age is one factor, so let's just stick to age. So, as I was saying, physical age is not equally understood as maturity. There is no correlation, you know what I'm saying? There is just zero correlations between these two energies, between these two instances. My guys and my girls and my whatnot. There is just no correlation whatsoever because somebody can be old as hell and they still are not wise. You know what I'm saying? What's really building wisdom is will. Your goddamn will. Your will is building your wisdom type shit. Let me explain. Your will, as in your willingness to learn. This is building wisdom. Because the best information on planet Earth can be shoved in your face, could be right in front of your face. But if you are not willing to learn, guess what? You won't learn. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. If the best information on planet Earth is right in front of your face, I'm getting a call once again. Give me. Not, as a matter of fact, I won't answer my call. I won't answer this call. I will not answer this call. So, the best information on planet Earth can be right in front of your face, but if you are not willing to learn, guess what? You won't learn. So, what's building wisdom is truly your readiness. Not readiness, it's like a stupid ass word, but your willingness to learn. This is building wisdom when you are willing to learn. Because experience, they say experience builds wisdom, which is true. But if you are not willing to learn, that experience goes to waste. It's like somebody in the classroom not paying attention. Yeah, they may be able to learn from that class, but they are not willing to pay attention. So the will is truly what's mattering almost even more than the actual experience. Are you willing to learn? And give me 2 seconds. Okay, no more interruptions. No more fucking interruptions. No more damn interruptions, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's that about experiences. But also, one thing you have to keep in mind is to not be totally ashamed to even go through experiences. Because experiences can be blocked by you, who you truly are. And if you are truly somebody who's ashamed 24/7, you won't utilize that experience to its highest degree. Because the experience is only as valuable as you, as who you truly are. When you are somebody who's not all about something, you won't make something out of that experience. And one thing which can block an experience to be a true learning experience is shame. Shame of what you're truly doing, of who you truly are, your true emotions, and just basically, and everything besides that, man, and everything associated with this type of scheme of things, you know what I'm saying? So, it all goes back to you. It all goes back to you. Hence, there's like a trine between experiences and you, aka a trine between Sagittarius and Leo. Who you truly are is what's truly determining the value of the learning experience. Sagittarius. I have that trine in my chart. I'm a Leo Sun, Sag, Moon type shit. So yeah, keep that shit in fucking mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that shit in mind, man. Keep that shit in mind. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Man, I'm getting cold once again. What the fuck? So, who you truly are is manifesting the worth of that experience. When you cannot be somebody who's in a right spiritual nature or in a right inner nature, you cannot make the most out of that experience. So, you have to be very much aware of that fact. It all goes back to you, essentially. It all goes back to you. It all goes back to you. It all goes back to you. Man, so many distractions, I lost my whole point, man. Today's like a busy ass day, man. Today, like, the sun is directly opposing my sun. We are in 5 degrees Aquarius and I'm in 5 degrees Leo, man. It's like a hard ass day for me. to make it simple, it's a hard day, man. It's a very hard day. It's an extremely hard day. But we will go through it, man. We will goddamn persevere. We will persevere, man. It's a crazy ass day today. It's a crazy ass day today. So, I was touching on the topic of shame. I was touching on shame. I'm thinking, should I make this an open panel and just return? Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I think I might do that. I might do that. So yeah, man. We will be right back in 2 minutes. I'll set up an open panel. And I'll see you guys on the open panel, man. Peace out, y'all. See you guys in 2 seconds.